Hey everyone, I hope you're having a super happy day. My name is TheBuringUnicorn and welcome back to our video. So guys, today we're actually back with a new type of video today, and we're actually doing a product review video. Now I wanted to do this type of video because I wanted to show people that there are different types of supplies out there that you can use besides Copic markers to kind of get a well-finished piece in the end. Now today we're actually going to be looking at Chameleon-based marker pens. And Chameleon is actually a really cool type of product to use. Chameleons, like in their name, have the ability to kind of change their one tone that they have into different tones. Now, when looking at the marker, you can kind of just see that they're just plain black. They kind of just look very natural, and that they have this very kind of clear plastic thing in the middle. Now, that part right there is actually what kind of turns the color into different shades. See, what you need to do is you'll take it off, and then you can insert one of the tips into there, and it will allow you to change the tone of the marker. Now, the marker comes with two different types of tips. It's up to your preference what you use. It comes with a brush tip, and it comes with a fine liner tip. Now, when using the Chameleon pen, you want to use whichever tip you pick and insert it into the very top, and allow yourself to kind of wait for about 30 seconds or so. And when you see the kind of marker tip kind of change color, you'll be able to know that it's changing tone throughout the process. Now, you don't want to leave it in there for too long, but if you do leave it in there for the amount of time that you think is right, then it'll work for you. Now, with the colors, it comes with a very variety of colors. I was given the 22 pack by my grandmother, who gave it to me one year for Christmas, and I totally forgot that I had the markers, so I wanted to kind of use them for this kind of video. Now, the colors that it gives you for the 22 pack are just outstanding, because usually when you get a variety pack, kind of like from Copic, and you get the beginner set, you'll just get kind of like these colors that kind of just don't go well together, and it's just like, oh well, how am I supposed to blend anything together? So, for today's actual kind of piece that we're doing for the Chameleon-based markers, we're actually doing Sora and her boyfriend, Damien. And I'm going to be telling you kind of like the good points and the bad points about Chameleon-based markers. So, with the good points instead, the good things about the Chameleon-based pens is actually the change in tone in themselves. Now, what I mean about that is, usually when you're using Copic markers in per se, and you kind of just want to like make different types of shading skin tones, you have to use different sets of markers to actually do that. With Chameleons, you can actually use just one set tone of marker, and you can just change the tone multiple times to kind of just get the perfect kind of tone that you want. Now, this is really helpful for markers because you don't want to spend hours and hours kind of just going over with different colors just until you get the same kind of skin tone you want. And that's what I like to see in markers. It's actually kind of making it a lot easier for you, but it's actually making it a bit challenging for you. Another good point is actually the colors blend really well together. And as you can see, the black and the purple blend really well together. I did notice that other colors kind of blended well, even though they weren't from the same kind of number system, which is really great. Another couple things is that with these markers, they're actually reusable and refillable, so you can go to your local retailer and you can actually pick up refillable bottles. I didn't see any in my local retailer, but it might be different in other places, I'm not sure. I know the markers can be a bit expensive, but that can be a bit on the bad side depending on where you get them or not. Now, some of the bad things that I did notice about the markers can be said in a couple of words, that they're kind of a patient kind of bringer. Now, when I say that, I mean that the markers can be very intolerable at times, and you have to have patience to do it. Because when I was doing this drawing, I was sitting in the chair kind of just resetting the color like multiple times until I got the right tone I wanted, because I needed the shade to be perfect. And I noticed that the shade kind of goes really fast when you're coloring, and that can be one downside to using the marker, because the dark part of the color kind of comes faster than the rest. But I noticed another thing that with the marker is that when you kind of use it and you kind of leave it in the slot where you're supposed to kind of make the color lighter, if you leave it in there for too long, it can kind of keep the color like plain white, and that can be a real problem sometimes, because sometimes the color won't come out after a while, and then it'll lighten up the original color that you had previously put down. But that's the only bad note I found about the markers. Overall, the product is really nice and really pretty. It can take some getting used to when actually doing the whole kind of chameleon kind of thing and resetting the color. But after you practice it for a while, like I did, you kind of get a little trick down, because I kind of thought you had to start from lightest to dark, but you can actually develop your own style to doing this when you're kind of doing it. And I think I developed the whole kind of like darkest to lightest kind of trick with this. So it really kind of worked out. It's a marker I think everyone can have their own little difference with, and everyone can kind of try and learn something different out about it every time they use it. Now, they are a bit pricey, I know that, and if you do want to go get some, I'd probably recommend buying them singly than the overall 22 pack. But overall, they're a really great marker, and I do recommend that if you do want to check them out, I would go purchase some myself. And with that said, guys, that's the end of this product review video, and I'll see you guys next time.